Neal, in episode 1, you stated that Sean's goal is a process. Can you elaborate on what that means exactly to you?
I would say it's a process because there's nothing outcome oriented that you can truly control. For me to say I played well today, I shoot 66. Well, let's say everyone else shoots 65. You have no control over that. Number wise, it's a failure. So I don't think you can truly judge success by a number or by an outcome. I think all your goals should be measured by what you can control. And I think the things you can control are your focus, your emotional state, and gathering all the right information to hit the shots that you want to hit.
So how would you describe your process personally, first of all, for feeling like you are in control of your focus for the day?
Everybody's different, and as I've worked with sports psychologists, I've come to realize that when I am feeling uncomfortable, my brain likes to race. And when I say it races, I mean I'm thinking about the shots I hit before, the shots that I may potentially hit in the future. I may get emotionally erratic and down on myself or too high on myself. I'm trying to approach every shot as a routine. So there's a gathering of information. I hit my shot and I process it, and I go to my next shot and I try to meditate or watch the clouds or birds, something that is very neutral and not golf related, just to give my brain a rest so that the next time I go to hit my next shot, it's like another day. I'm able to go through the same process again.
How about when you hit a really bad shot and you're super mad? How have you learned to manage that?
Yeah, it's all pretty tied in together. As long as I wasn't emotional prior to hitting that bad shot, I can process that emotionally, and I can have a negative reaction. But as long as I process it and figure out, okay, have something in mind of, all right, this is what I have to do next, and you can let it go and separate for a second, continue on. But as long as I'm emotionally prepared and I've got all my information, if I hit a bad shot, honestly, I shouldn't get too upset though.
Okay, so you're saying it's okay to get mad as long as you recognize that you're mad and you deal with the fact that you're mad so it doesn't affect your next shot.
Correct. Yeah, I don't want to tie anything together. I like them all to be separate entities. If you hit a bad shot, there's nothing you can do to change it. The only thing you can do to make things better is to process it and move forward and treat every shot with as much importance as the ones before.
If you had the option, would you rather walk or drive for the tournament?
Specifically, if pace of play is really slow, I'd highly encourage walking, and even more so if they allow the push cart. Push cart's good, doesn't do anything bad for your body. But even if you have to carry, if it's a pretty flat golf course, I think it's a good way to pass time and not basically run your golf ball and sit, and create ways for you to escape the upcoming shot. So I highly encourage walking if it's easy.
You've mentioned breathing in the past. Any breathing tips for Sean?
There's something that I've used before, and it's kind of been nice. It's something that maybe he could play with while he practices, but I use breathing sometimes as an accelerator or a brake. What I mean by that is if I'm feeling kind of bored, because sometimes I get bored on the golf course, it seems somewhat monotonous, I'll hit the accelerator to get myself more engaged. So I'll take more breaths in. I'll take in like a 5 count of air in and maybe like a 3 count out. So I'm taking in more air than I'm pushing out, just to kind of get my blood up. And then if I'm feeling excited, I'll take smaller breaths in. A shot that's very important, I'll try to limit in and I'll push more out to try to bring things back lower.
Do you have like a certain number of looks that you're playing with, or is it just whatever makes you comfortable over the ball?
I find that having preferences like that, I'll probably like to take between 2 and 3 looks. I'm not going to take 1 look and go. That's never going to happen. But if I find myself looking up for the 5th time, I'm basically going to tell myself, hey, that's enough, and you need to back off. And that's a hard thing to kind of be aware of too. When to back off is a key thing. When to pull a trigger, and I know a lot of people do pull the trigger when they're not comfortable. You got to find what's comfortable, and even if you have to back off it a couple of times, you got to be prepared to pull a trigger when you feel like you're ready. I wouldn't say a hard number, but it should be between 2, 3, 4. That's it.
It's kind of like once it becomes a thing, then you got to back off. Once you become aware of, oh, why am I looking up so many times? Then it's like your awareness is in the wrong spot. Time to reset. So you don't allow yourself to ever hit a golf shot when you recognize that you're bored. So that's when you're pumping yourself up with breath?
If I do, because if I'm bored, I'm really not engaged in getting my specific numbers. Like, I'm kind of like, yeah, this is kind of good enough. So, like, those are the only times I really get pissed at myself, if I'm really not giving a damn about what's going on, or if I place too much importance on a shot and I can't find my middle ground again. Those are kind of like my two no-nos. Hitting bad golf shots are understandable. As long as, like I said, if I'm prepared right, I mean, I accept it and I got to move forward.